In this video clip, I'm going to show you how the SO may issue SI through the system, and also how the contractor may access and view the SI issued by the SO through the system, as well as to respond to the SI issued by the SO through the system as well. First of all, let me try to log into the system as an SO. Alright, I've already logged into the system as the SO, as you can see here. I'm an SO4. So the project that I'm responsible for is a project sold by the name Trans-Borneo Railway. Let me go to the SI screen to see what do we have over there. Alright, on this screen we can see a rather long list of SI issued by the SO throughout the years. So what you can see on this table, this the list of the AI, the date on which the SO was issued, and whether or not there is any VO or variation order associated with the SI issued, the status of the SI, be it the draft that is still pending approval from someone, or it has been complied with by the contractor, and the deadline for compliance, of course. So if I were to click on the Issue New SI button here, you open up a new page. So this is the page that the SO can fill in for issuing the SI. So what the SO has to fill in is to first provide the SI's reference. So I will just simply type something, SI123, let's call it that way. And the list of the clauses that empower the issuance of the SI, the SO may select one or more than that. And then the SO also has to provide the instructions. In this case, the SO will like the contractor to do this and that. And then the deadline to comply with will be the 7 days from receipt of the SI, that is the 8th of September 2022. If there are relevant attachments that the SO would like to attach for the information of the contractor, the SO should feel free to do that. And then when it comes to the bottom of the page for the SO to issue the SI, this is another question for the SO to respond to. That is whether or not this SI will lead to a variation order or VO. So the default one is no. Alright, so the SO can select yes or no depending on the situation. If the SO were to select no for this particular option or question, then the SO can straightforward go to this button, click next, and then the SI will be issued straight away directly through the system. However, in case this SI were to lead to a VO, like in this case, then there is a further step to follow through. Let's see how it goes. So right, in this case, as this SI is going to lead to VO, and then the financial limit for the VO in this case is preset to be 10,000 ringgit Malaysia only, according to the information provided in the contract. And then the value of the VO in this case, the SO has to provide. If it is just 5,000, then the question on whether or not the financial limit has been exceeded is no. But let's say if it's 50,000 ringgit Malaysia, obviously in this case it has exceeded the financial limit for the VO, and the system will notify the SO that yes, you can issue that the financial limit has been exceeded, and you should obtain the prior written approval of the relevant authorities of the government. In this case, it is as per clause 4.1.a. In this case, the next step for the SO to do is to click on next. However, you can see that there's an additional step for the SO to follow through before the SI can be issued. In this case, as the financial limit has been exceeded, and then the value of the VO is 50,000 ringgit Malaysia, then the SO has to select the correct named officer with the authority to approve and the VO for the amount of money. So he might have to write kind of a letter or drop a message to the name officer, in this case officer number 4, all right, for the purpose. Let's call it subject VO number 1. A simple message will do. The SO can even provide attachments as necessary, and in terms of the size of the attachment, the SO can attach as large a file as needed. Then the next step is to click next, and this is the message from the system confirming whether or not the SO would like to issue this SI. In this case, the answer is straightforward, yes. Okay, if you were to scroll down to the bottom, you may remember that just now the subject of the SI is SI123, and you can see that yes, it has not been really issued. This means that the SI is still kind of unstuck in the system and not visible to the contractor because it has yet to be approved for issuance. And then if we were to scroll up, the status of the SI is still pending VO approval. So the SO would have to notify the name officer, officer number 4 in that case, informing and reminding the fellow to have a look at this to see whether or not he would like to approve this particular VO. Of course, the system would have sent a message and a notification to the name officer related to this as well, asking the fellow to do the same, that is to check through this VO and whether or not the fellow would like to approve it. Once approved by the name officer selected, then the status of the SI in this case will be changed to confirm or send. Let's have a look at how does the SI that has been approved for issuance look like. So let's try this out. The SI with VO in this case, that is pending the action of the contractor. Let me click on it. Okay, so this is how the SI issued through the system looks like. Project title up there, Trans-Borneo Railway, the SI's reference. In this case is SI with VO, then issued, deadline to comply, value of VO if any. Okay, and then down there, there's a panel with some messages over there. The first message is related to the compliance of the AIs, about the status of compliance. For this particular piece of SI, it reminds the contractor that the contractor must comply with the SI within 7 days. That is on 2nd of January 2022. And then the contractor may update the status of his compliance with this particular AI here by clicking this link and then and provide the relevant information and evidence. And the contractor may also submit EOT claim, loss and expense claim, if this SI were to lead to EOT claim, loss and expense claim, or both of the claims. So I'm going to show you these two functions when we are going to go through this part of the function later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to the contractor's screen. That is, I'm going to log out from the SO's account and then re-log into the system using a contractor's account for you to have a look how the SI might look like on the computer, on the contractor's computer, and what the contractor can do and what sort of actions he can take and how this is going to be captured by the system. So just please bear with me a moment. All right, now I'm trying to log into the system as a contractor. Okay, the contractor is involved in two government projects, and one of this is the Trans-Borneo Railway. And then the contractor can access the list of SIs that he has received either through this link here or from this particular drop-down menu. So here, let's try this kind of accessing the list of SIs through this particular button. Here 11 means that there are already 11 SIs received by the contractor. Okay, you can see that the list is actually longer than 11 because the number 11 reflects the new SI that the contractor kind of have just received and still haven't opened. So let's have a look at this SI with VO. That is the one that we have looked at just now. See what the contractor can do with this particular SI. Similar kind of pieces of information as we have seen just now on the SO's screen. Similar amount of money, similar clause cited for the issuance of the SI. And in here, similar 3 panels containing 3 different pieces of information. And here it reminds the contractor that he has to comply with the SI within 7 days by this particular deadline. Of course, we can see that kind of the deadline has been kind of exceeded. What the contractor has to do is to update the status of his compliance here. He may say that, dear SO, job done. And then he just have to check here. He can also attach files or some evidence showing that he has complied with this particular SI and just click submit. And then let's go to this particular VO again. And you can see that the system has recorded that on this day the contractor has informed that the SI has been complied with, and this will become visible to the SO when SO has logged into the system. Alright, but if we were to go back to the screen, one step back to this screen, then we will see that on top of it, actually, we have another very simple table containing the reminders for SO to issue SI. And then we all know that in JKR or PWD standard form of contract, there is no verbal instructions available, meaning to say that verbal instruction is actually not valid. So what the contractor may do in case he or she were to receive a verbal instruction from the SO on site, then this function here in the system is to allow the contractor to create a reminder for the SO to find out and to get the failure to confirm whether or not he would like to issue an SI officially through the system for the contractor to execute. Of course, the SO can say yes, can say no. So let's have a look at the first one, the first reminder for SO to issue the SI by the contractor. In this case, on this day, the contractor has reminded and tried to find out from the SO whether or not he would like to go ahead with his verbal SI that he issued on site. Alright, so the SO has got back to the contractor trying to find out which piece of verbal instructions that he's referring to. Alright, and then subsequently the SO confirmed that he would like to go ahead with the verbal instructions by issuing an official SI in writing through the system. So this is how the system works. And then you can see that actually everything, all the SI that the SO has issued, and then the action taken by the contractor, the response by the contractor, everything is captured precisely and accurately in the system. In addition to that, there is also a function that allows the contractor to confirm with the SO on whether or not the SO would like to go ahead with a verbal SI that he issued to the contractor on site. So that's basically about all about the functions related to the issuance of SI through the system.